I see the damn thing. Shit. Twang. Let's pour some more. Oh, Jesus Christ. It was fun to fuck with me, didn't it? Get out. Couldn't have a choice. Get out. You want to figure out more?